Welcome back, and thank you for being with me for another edition of Easy, but Not So Easy. All right, so today I want to talk to you about what it means to commit to your company for a fixed period of time. Now, for those of you who are like, I don't understand what that means. Okay, I'm usually talking about it from an educational standpoint or an opportunity standpoint. Like, let's say your company affords you the opportunity to do something, and educational is probably the best one. Let's say that they agree to pay for you to go to school for a particular period of time. However, in return, you have to contractually commit to being with that company. It's usually one-on-one or two-on-one, depending on the circumstances. So let's assume they say for every year of school that they pay for, you have to agree to commit to 2 years. In other words, you can't leave for the next 2 years. And they put it in writing. So I want to talk to you about the easy, but not so easy aspects of actually entering into that type of a contractual agreement. First of all, let's talk about the easy. First, it's security. I mean, if you're working for an employer and an employer basically is like, hey, we're going to pay for your school, we're going to allow you to do A, B, C, D, and E, but you got to give us 2 years. Well, guess what you know? 2 years, you're going to be there. And so now you don't have to worry about the uncertainty of knowing if you have a job or if anything weird's going to happen, because in your mind, you already know right out the gate, you have a secure job afforded to you. Also, it's for the second thing is that by doing this, you have a defined period of time. Like imagine, most of us when we're going to work, we're at-will employees, which means at any given point in time, we can be let go. But if they're telling you that, okay, we're going to dedicate, for a year for you to do this, but you're going to have to give us 2 years, you know definitively for the next 2 years, you're going to be right there. So you can make your plans for what you're going to do once you leave, relying upon this specific fixed period of time. You don't have to guess and figure out, I don't know how long it will be here. Well, guess what? If they're compensating you for something and you're telling them you're going to give them your time, well, you already know what time it is. You're going to be there. So you already got a defined period of time. And as a result of that, the other easy thing is because you have a defined period of time and also because you're secure and knowing where you're going to be at, you have the ability to plan. You can use this time to evaluate what you're going to do after the time is up. Depending on the employer, you may say, okay, well, I'm going to extend a little longer, or I might try another one of their opportunities, whatever the case may be. But you now know you have those things right in front of you. So with that, you got your 3 things that are easy to think about: security, defined period of time, and you can plan. So that is easy. So with that, I want to take an opportunity to talk to you about the not so easy part of this whole arrangement. Okay, so let's talk about this and how this actually shapes out in terms of the not so easy part. First, you may be a breach of contract if you quit early. What does that mean? Well, make sure you read the fine print of this thing. If you enter into this agreement saying that, hey, I'm going to give you, if you pay for my school, I'm going to give you this particular period of time, and then all of a sudden, halfway through, you decide, hell with y'all. Look at the contract. If you signed an agreement, you've entered into agreement, you have now breached. So that means you've broken the contract, which may mean they may take you to court, which may mean that you have to owe them money. So it's important for you to understand, what does the contract say in terms of what happens if you were to leave early? What happens if you breach the contract? So if you have told them, I'm going to give you 2 years, if you take care of this year, they take care of that year, and then you don't give them the full 2, if you decide to get out, there may be some legal and some instances financial consequences for doing so. The second thing that you need to be mindful of is the job may actually be worse. Can you imagine a situation where maybe they pay for you to take care of doing something for a year? You go in to say, okay, all right, I'm going to give them 2 years. But during that 2 years, the job becomes horrible. Like during the time when you were first working, it was all right. You was good to go. But now it has become bad and you're stuck in this contract that you can't break. So that's a reality that you got to keep in your mind. And most of us, if we've been at a company for a period of time, we can see the culture of the company. So if you notice that all of a sudden, management has started to change, some of the employees have started to leave, the culture is about to do a shift, and you are stuck on a contract that you can't get out of as a result of being during that time, as a result of agreeing to this particular arrangement, and there's nothing you can do except ride out from being this funky culture. And then the final thing that you have to realize is look to see if they can breach. What do you mean if they can breach? Let's assume, for instance, you're there they tell you, okay, we'll give you a year, you got to give us 2. Does the contract give them the ability to fire you at will? Imagine if you're in a situation where you've done something. Let's say they agree to pay for you to go to the specialized training and it's a year long, and you come back and you see all these different people and these opportunities to go to different places, but you can't take advantage of them because you're in this contract thinking that, okay, well, I'm going to be with these guys for a period of time. And then halfway through that period of time, they decide to let you go. And you're thinking, well, wait a minute, if y'all can do it this easy, I could have been looking for some other job during that time period. What's like that? What happened? Take the opportunity to read the contract to see, does that employer have the ability to let you go? Now, it's one thing if it's for cause, like if you're doing like stealing money from the company, they ain't gonna hold you, they will keep you there if you're in there running dirty. But in the same instance, if you haven't done anything wrong and they effectively are releasing you just because at will, then it's wild because you have to stay there in order for you to not breach the contract, but they can let you go at any point in time. So you may find yourself in this wild position where, wait a minute, so I have to stay here, but they can get rid of me whenever they want to? Yes, that's why you read the contract. So as a result, on the not so easy portion, just know, if you enter into a contract where you agree to give your effort and your time and your energy for a fixed period of time, if you leave early, it's a breach. The work environment may get worse, and they may be able to let you go whenever they want. So keep all that in mind. So I'm throwing all this out there to you for this final point so that you can completely understand and appreciate this going forward. When you find yourself in a position that you have the opportunity to take advantage of something that may present itself, if you find yourself in this position where you have the opportunity to be able to do certain things like this, and you have a contract that you can enter into, keep in mind this point going forward. Read the contract. Make sure that it's worth your time going forward and worth your benefit going forward to actually participate in this. Because if you find yourself going into a contract for something that may not benefit you in the long haul, you may find that you may regret giving your time to them for a fixed period of time, and you may not find that it gives you a greater benefit as opposed to the cost that you incur. As always, this is Anthony Reeves. Thank you for another edition of Easy But Not So Easy, and let me be the first to tell you, as always, are you ready for the Anthony Reeves experience?